From translation, ISV International Standard Version. This 5th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Genesis 16 to 18. Genesis chapter 16, verses 1 to 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. But she had an Egyptian slave woman named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, "Since the Lord has prevented me from bearing children, go to my slave woman. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Abram did what Sarai told him. After Abram had been living in Canaan for 10 years, Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian, her slave, and gave her to Abram, her husband, as a wife. He slept with Hagar, and she became pregnant. When she realized that she was pregnant, she looked down on her mistress. Then Sarai said to Abram, "You are responsible for my suffering. I put my slave woman in your embrace, and when she saw that she was pregnant, she looked down on me. May the Lord judge between you and me." Abram said to Sarai, "Your slave girl is in your power. Do to her whatever you think is best." Then Sarai mistreated her so severely that she ran away from her. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring of water in the desert. It was the spring on the way to Shur. He asked Hagar, slave of Sarai, "Where have you come from and where are you going?" She answered, "I'm running away from my mistress Sarai." Then the angel of the Lord said to her, "Go back to your mistress and submit to her authority." The angel added, "I will greatly multiply your descendants, and they will be too numerous to count." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard your suffering. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone and everyone's hand against him, and he will live in hostility toward all his brothers." She gave a name to the Lord who spoke to her. "You are the God who sees me," for she said, "I have now seen the one who sees me." That is why the well was called Beer Lahai Roi. It is still there between Kadesh and Bird. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram named his son, the one whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. Genesis chapter 17, verses 1 to 27. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am God Almighty. Walk before me and be blameless. I will confirm my covenant between me and you, and I will greatly increase your number of descendants." Abram fell on his face, and God spoke with him, saying, "As for me, I confirm my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. Your name will no longer be Abram, but Abraham, for I have made you the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful, and nations and kings will come from you. I will confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you, throughout their generations, as an everlasting covenant, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. I will give to you and your descendants after you the land where you are now living, all the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I will be their God." Then God said to Abraham, "As for you, you must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you, throughout their generations. This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, which you are to keep. Every male among you is to be circumcised. You are to circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and this will be a sign of the covenant between me and you. For generations to come, every male among you who is 8 days old must be circumcised, including those born in your household, or bought with money from any foreigner, those who are not your descendants. Whether born in your household or bought with money, they must be circumcised. My covenant will be in your flesh as an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised male who has not been circumcised in the flesh will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant." Then God said to Abraham, "As for Sarai your wife, you are to call her Sarah, not Sarai anymore. I will bless her and will certainly give you a son by her. I will bless her so that she will become nations, and rulers of peoples will come from her." Abraham fell on his face and laughed as he said to himself, "Will a son be born to a man who is 100 years old? Will Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child?" And Abraham said to God, "If only Ishmael might live under your blessing." But God said, "No, but Sarah your wife will bear you a son, and you are to name him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will certainly bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. But I will establish my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this time next year." When he finished speaking with Abraham, God went up from him. On that very day Abraham took his son Ishmael and all those born in his household or bought with his money, every male in his household, and circumcised them, just as God had told him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and his son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised. On that very day, Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised. And every male in Abraham's household, including those born in his household or bought with money from a foreigner, was circumcised. Genesis chapter 18, verses 1 to 33. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing near him. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, my lord, please do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you something to eat, so you can be refreshed and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant." "Very well," they answered, "do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. "Quick," he said, "get 3 seahs of fine flour and knead it and bake some bread." Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice, tender calf and gave it to a servant, who hurried to prepare it. He then brought some curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared, and set these before them. While they ate, he stood near them under the tree. "Where is your wife Sarah?" they asked him. "There in the tent," he said. Then one of them said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son." Now Sarah was listening at the entrance to the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were old and well advanced in years, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, "After I am worn out and my master is old, will I have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Will I really have a child now that I am old?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did laugh." When the men got up to leave, they looked towards Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him, to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Then the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin so grievous, that I will go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know." The men turned away and went towards Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right?" The Lord said, "If I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Then Abraham spoke up again. "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, although I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the 5 less than the 50 righteous people are missing? Will you destroy the whole city because of 5 people? If I find 45 there," he said, "I will not destroy it." Once again he spoke to him, "What if only 40 are found there?" He said, "For the sake of 40, I will not do it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30 can be found there?" He answered, "I will not do it if I find 30 there." Abraham said, "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 can be found there?" He said, "For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there?" He answered, "For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it." When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned home.